before we move into body paragraphs, the first question that I've had every class for 20 years is, how many body paragraphs do I need? And this really comes from a place where probably in elementary school or middle schools, your teachers were teaching you that you need an introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. And no matter what the argument was, you were going to fill those body paragraphs with information and hand it in. What I need you to understand now at this level of writing, it's really not about how many body paragraphs you need to fill in as in a formula. It's about how many body paragraphs do you need in order to prove your thesis. For some really strong writers, and I say this with caution because it hasn't happened often, but for some writers that might mean 1 very strong body paragraph and a conclusion. For other writers, it means they have 2 lengthy, developed, like 1.5-page paragraphs and a conclusion. And still for others, it might mean 3, 4, or 5 body paragraphs. What I can tell you is that the critical essay on the diploma or equivalency exam is made up of 2 things. It's made up of quality, but it's also made up of quantity. So it's you have quality in your writing and your thought and understanding, but you have to develop those ideas at length. So most of the essays that we see that receive 80% or higher have 4, 5, 6 body paragraphs. So you might be sitting there thinking, I can't write that much. You can, but that goes back to not about the writing, it goes back to how well you understand the text. So I'm going to keep revisiting that over time, which is that the quality of the writing is going to be determined by the quality of your reading, and the better you understand those text choices, the more you will be able to write about. That being said, your body paragraphs are always going to be made up of multiple things. Topic sentences. Topic sentences are considered mini thesis statements. They pull down elements of the thesis and they introduce the evidence that you're going to use for that body paragraph. The meat of the body paragraph is going to contain something called say, mean, matter. Say is the plot. What's the story about? What does that plot mean? So what does it symbolize? What does it illustrate? What does it exemplify? What does it foreshadow? What's ironic about it? And then why does it matter is what's its connection back to the thesis? So it's all great that you can retell the story Horses of the Night, but nobody cares. What we care about is how do you pull out the pieces of Horses of the Night that show me the connection to your thesis statement? Body paragraphs should be long and they should be dense. And they should be, if you're highlighting them, if I had 3 different colors, say, mean, matter, plot, meaning, and matter, you should have tons for meaning and matter. Meaning, I should see if you're using color coding and you've established that every time you connect to a thesis, it's going to be color coded in blue, the majority of that paragraph should be blue. If your body paragraph is you've decided that every time you state something having to do with the plot, that you're going to highlight it pink. If your entire body paragraph is pink, what that is assigned to you is that you got 0% for that body paragraph. So we don't give any marks for plot summary. We always give marks for how well is that plot connected to your thesis statement. So you're toggling back and forth between the plot and how it connects to your thesis, whether you're doing that in 1, 2, 3, 6, or 7 body paragraphs. Your body paragraph will then have a concluding statement. So we have a topic sentence, lots of say, mean, matter with quotations and indirect quotations, and then you're going to have a concluding statement, which essentially summarizes what you just talked about. Now, an astute writer is sitting there thinking, I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot in this type of essay. You are. That's what you're doing when you're writing a critical essay. You're telling the reader what your thesis is. You're telling them why your thesis is that, and then you're reminding them what the thesis is again. And the strong writers are able to do that without repeating themselves. That is when we connect to sentence structure and vocabulary.